Hey everybody, welcome to Around the Twist, episode 324. It is March 19th, 2018, and as cute as they were last week, fingers crossed that we do not have a little co-host coming down here. Please, dear God, give me one solid nap time this week. So yeah, we'll catch up on how that's been going in a little bit. What you want to really know is what's on my needles, so I guess we'll catch up on life a little bit right now because that applies to everything that I got done. We went about three and a half hours away, partway into Nebraska this last weekend, and met up with the in-laws because Grandma and Papa wanted to see the grandkids and they hadn't seen them in a while. So we went back, stayed at a very nice Best Western Plus in North Platte, Nebraska. If you're ever driving across Nebraska and need a place to stay, the Best Western Plus, obviously they didn't give me anything for this. We paid for our hotel room. Fabulous breakfast. Gorgeous place. It's a newer hotel, so it's not all run down. It's got a nice pool, hot tub. Like I said, really good breakfast spread. I judge hotels on what their continental breakfast is like, and this one was really nice. The ladies serving it were wonderful. Fairly quiet on the floors. We had sounded like preteen to early teenage boys running up and down the hall the first night we were there. But otherwise, the grandparents took the kids. We got a couple of nice nights of sleep. And I got quite a bit of knitting done, or crafting done. So right into it. What's on my needles? First thing, and what got the majority of my time, is the stained glass blanket take 2. Since I had finished the socks last week and my Beck sweater was, nose is running. I don't even have anything hot to drink down here, so I don't know why. The stained glass take 2 got most of my love. The Beck sweater, it was at a point I didn't want to lug the iPad with me, and yeah, I just didn't feel up to a sweater. So I took this because it's small-ish. The bag is huge that it's in because it's riding around in this ginormous bag that I love that Amy Froggy Monkey made for me. So inside this bag, I'm not only carrying the blanket, I'm also carrying a 2-gallon and a 1-gallon Ziploc bag full of my scraps. So as I fish them out of the 2-gallon, they go in the 1-gallon. So I can keep track of what I've done this round and what I haven't. I also have a knit kit in here, my pattern, and the loose ball of Loopy U Solid Series in black. Let me grab the wrapper here so you guys can see it. They no longer have this particular one, but I have scrounged enough off of other people's stashes on Ravelry that I'm pretty sure I have enough to get this blanket as big as I want. If not, I'll be harassing people more in the next couple of years. So I know I had quite a bit. Last time I had 55 centers-ish done, or joined onto the blanket. I am up to 58. So I added 3 centers. So let me find where's my end. They're my end. So these 3. Faulty Dyer. I don't know. And I think this one was Krabby McCrabby Pants, if I remember right, which was also the center one that I started with. You can see it down here. That was my original one that I began with. And now I've added a Progress Keeper. Let's see if it'll focus. Oh yeah, there we go. So this is one of the Progress Keepers I showed you guys last week from Melissa, Meliabella. Used to do the His and Hers podcast. But she's Meliabella on Instagram, on Ravelry, on Etsy, basically everywhere. And she's making Progress Keepers now. Oh, come on, please focus. There we go. So I had shown you these last week, so I took one of them off. There's her shop. meliabella.etsy.com. And whatever you order, and then she threw in a extra little bitty star one for me. She ships out super fast, you guys, too. So if you're looking for Progress Keepers, awesome. So after I put this last one on, actually right before I started recording, I added that so I don't have to lay this blanket out and sit there and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, count my way up to 58 plus and see how many more I've actually done in the next week. Since I'm going to keep going around for a bit, I'll be able to go, oh, that's where I stopped. Well, I could keep counting from there. Well, that's how many I added. And I know because I wrote my show notes out that I was at 58 this week. So I added the 3 on, got that done while we were there / on the way. I did a good chunk of the driving because hubby had worked the night before. And then I just started pulling out scraps and started making centers. I did have to get rid of one of my centers that I had shown you last week. It wasn't joined on yet because it only had 11 going around. These are supposed to have 12. I had 11, and I just killing me that I can't count to 12. I just assume, oh, hey, we're done, finished, cool. And it's not until I'm actually joining them on the blanket with the black, and I'm all the way at the end of going all the way around and joining them on, that I realize, oh, this isn't going to come out right. Poop. So I made sure I counted with every single one of these. So I have this lovely little stack. Well, this one had already been done, holding on to that for a while. Wow, that's the wrong color. It's like deep blue and purple. About there is about right. This, yeah, that is way too blue. That's not right at all. It's almost like navy blue, a royal blue, and then a purple. So from what I can see on my little like 3x2 inch screen from 4 feet away, that looks about right color-wise. Superhero blues, that was a club colorway. Then I think this was Sea Stone. Again, way too blue. It's more here. I'm just going to hold them up back here and y'all can see them there. Carbon Dating. This is a really old one, like back when I first started buying Blue Moon. I don't even remember. I think this was part of my my Charlotte's Web shawl that I was wearing last week. I think had Carbon Dating in it. Oh, this one. I don't remember. It's okay. Dragon Dance. This was a club colorway years ago. Okay, just for fun, since this is such a red color, let's see how it is bluer. Actually, that's pretty accurate. So it's just the blue ones that is blowing out. Awesome. This is one of the lightweight ones from a blue, which is not that bright. It's more of a navy. Here. From when I did my sister-in-law's Color Infection. This is Lenore, which looks black back here, so we're going to zoom it up. And you can see more of the color variation, which was one of the Ravens colorways. That was a club colorway before they introduced the Ravens to Socks That Rock. And then I had one medium weight circle, hexagon, that is a pale lavender. It's showing kind of flesh toned back here. And it shows white there. Awesome. Somewhere in between. It's a pale lavender. It's their KMBFLA, which is Kiss My Big Fat Lavender. I'm trying to keep it G-rated for you guys. Since I know little pictures have big ears, and my kids have started repeating everything. So I did 3 centers joined on the blanket, actual blanket, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more centers ready to go to be joined on. So Socks That Rock lightweight and medium weight, joining on with the Loopy U Solid Series, and I am using an F hook, good old Susan Bates, which is a 3.75 millimeter needle. Not sure if you guys can read that. Yeah, that is totally upside down. Let's go this way. I was actually focusing. Oh, there we go. That's beautiful. Okay, so got a lot done on that, sitting in the hotel room, watching a Dirty Jobs marathon while the grandparents had the kids. That was kind of nice. Also in the last week, I've been working on my Beck sweater. I know I said I didn't take it along. That doesn't mean I didn't make progress. Did a little bit last night after we got home. This is the Beck by Danny Sunshine. I'm doing the 40-inch bust, which will hopefully still be big enough. I've put on a little bit of weight. Finally, yeah. We'll leave it there. The colorway The yarn is Rowan Felted Tweed DK. I know it doesn't say DK, but trust me. And colorway 173, which Personal Threads Boutique back in Omaha called Duck Egg. I mean, it's a pretty gray blue. More like there. That's a little pinky. Yeah, about there. Kind of a cross between gray and blue, and it's got these, I'm going to hold it close so you can see the lovely little flecks. See them all? Ooh, tweed, yay. So, knitting on a US 6, which is a 4mm needle. I decided to do an extra inch between the underarm. I did the 3 waist decreases, and then it said to continue out until you were 9 inches from the underarm. I did 10 because I'm a little bit longer waisted. I like my sweaters to be a little bit longer. I'd rather them end like lower hip than high hip. So now I'm at that point, I'm ready to do I hear Phoebe scrabbling around, and hopefully that's the only thing moving upstairs. I'm ready to start doing the waist increases now, or hip increases, since I went in for the waist, I'm going out for the hip. So yeah, that's why I needed to do literally like an inch more. And I knew I would get more than that done on the car ride, and then my iPad. Yeah, I just didn't want to take it long. Let's just leave it at that. It was one more thing to throw in for what was essentially a day-and-a-half trip. Now I heard one of the dogs come down. Which one ran by in the background? Daisy did. Hi, Daisy Duke. Fuzzy. Come on, my fuzzy munchkin. Come here. You gonna come up? Don't yip, please. Okay. There's a fuzzy munchkin. You smell really bad. We need to get her in for a spa day. Phoebe too. It's spring-ish, right? As everyone out in the Northeast is going, yeah, right, we're getting hit by another snowstorm. So, I'm not hiding Daddy. He's still sleeping. You're okay. She's like, I don't know about this. Mama. Okay. There you go, Daisy. There's my little snooze munchkin. Okay. Sorry, I'd heard one of them come down the stairs. I wanted to make sure it wasn't Phoebe. Because, yeah, we've been having issues with her. So anyway, show ya. There's my little progress keeper that a former patient made for me. So I got 2 inches done on this. That's not bad, right? Move this up. So I can keep going. So 2 inches on a sweater that's almost 300 stitches around. That's not bad. I'm happy with that. At any rate, I'm not complaining about it, because, hello. Obviously, I missed winter with this, so, well, we'll make it work. But, don't start knitting on this, Karen. God and gravy. That's everything that that touched yarn to needles, or hooks, this week. So moving on to Various and Sundry, we do have an up-and-coming project that also made its way along on our little vacation road trip thing, whatever you want to call it. They're socks for hubby. So if you've been keeping up Christmas, I was like, what else can I get for him? What do you get for this guy? I'm running out of ideas. What do you do? So I went to the Loopy U. Mainly because my mom was in town. I don't usually go there because, hello, I have a craft room full of stash that I can shop through. But my mom wanted to go. Mom, I'm not blaming you for this, don't worry. Because I kind of wanted to go too, just to, see what's going on. And I purchased a skein of Socks That Rock while I was there. Because I realized when we were on our elk hunting trip, hubby only had 3 pairs of socks. I finished the ones out of Field and Stream for him, the lovely green blue. Oh, now that blue's okay. What is going on here? I don't know what's going on with the color, people. But it's greens and blues, so I finished that. So now he has 4 pairs of socks. And I purchased another one. So Socks That Rock Lightweight in Steampunk Sonata. because, as I've said before, my hubby is colorblind. He is red-green colorblind. This, he sees a bunch of blue and brown. He doesn't see that gorgeous, like, forest green color. He doesn't see that. So I wanted something he could see majority of. So this kind of jumped out at me as being a very guy colors. I know, gender stereotyping, whatever. Anyway, it's got lovely oranges and green, blue, and teal, and everything running through it. So the way I touched this weekend is hubby helped me wind it into a ball. During aforementioned Dirty Jobs marathon, I said, here, you're my Swift. And he goes, what's a Swift? I said, nothing, just hold the yarn. So he sat there holding the skein of yarn like this while I wound it into a ball. I thought maybe I would start, maybe I would start on these socks on the way home, and then I got into crocheting centers, and yeah, that happened. So this is all wound up, ready to go. It kind of reminds me, I know it's Steampunk Sonata, and so everything steampunk is like Victorian era if the steam engine had taken over versus the combustion engine, and gears and cogs and clockwork and that kind of thing, if you're not into what steampunk is. So this, the other way to describe it would kind of be if you ever like pull out a bunch of pennies sometime, empty your coin purse, your purse, whatever, and you've got the bright, shiny copper new pennies, and then you got the ones that are a little bit darker that have the patina starting on them, and then you have the really old ones that are starting to turn kind of greenish colored from the copper patina on them. That's what this reminds me of, is every shade and color of pennies. Because the brighter orange is kind of the new pennies, and then you got the darker brown for the older ones, and then the ones that are turning kind of greenish colored. That's what this reminds me of. I love it. So that's riding around, waiting to be cast on. The needles are in the bag and everything. So I'd originally thrown this bag together when hubby went in the hospital. Not knowing how long he was going to be there, how long I would have to be there, I not only threw the worry socks in, but I had this as well. Not balled up, because I figured that would give me something to do with my hands. So, been working on that. Other thing, yay, came down here and checked, and Podcast Garden works again. So yay. I am currently uploading 321, 2 weeks ago. That is currently uploading to iTunes, if that's where you watch it from. And I'm working, on recompressing episode 322, which is last week's, because I didn't know how long Podcast Garden was going to be down. I did see, thank you everyone for your input, I did see where they had said use the old uploader. I couldn't get the old uploader to work. It wouldn't let me click on anything, and I don't know if that's just Windows 10 that I'm running, and I know that's bad, but huzzah, it was only an issue for 2 weeks, and now it's taken care of. Stuff is uploading, so yay! So if you've been following on iTunes, the last few weeks' episodes, along with this week's episode, will be back up. It might take me a couple of days to get everything back up to speed, but we should be all caught up before I record next week's show, so yay. All right, let's see, what else? Oh, I revived Any Questions. So the Any Questions thread over on Ravelry, if you go to the Ravelry group, it is a sticky thread at the top. You can feel free to ask me any questions. If we run out of questions, I keep forgetting it's there. I'm sorry. If we run out of questions in that thread, I'll just let it kind of die a natural death. If you have anything you want to ask me, please feel free to post. If it is anything too personal, I will tell you so. Let's not get weird, people, please. But anything that you want to hear my opinion on, go ahead and post over there. So we're going to do 2 this week because I've been skipping a little bit and not doing these. So we are going to start Pearly Knits. I swear, she posted like 9 months ago asking what my favorite finished items are I've crafted over the years. Top 3 or however many I feel like showing. I didn't pull anything out, and I wanted to get this done before nap time was over. So maybe next week I'll get to you. I'm so sorry. So we're going to go with Calico Cat's question. And again, some of these are a while old, 8 months ago, in July, Georgiana, how do you pronounce it? Calico Cat over on Ravelry said, "Hi Karen, this is sure to be something you've already covered, but I'm going to ask anyway. What are your preferred yarns for clothes for your children? Are some yarns lasting better than others, or conversely, are there some that you love so much you don't mind if they're not so practical? Everyone has their own opinions and preferences on this topic, and I would be interested to hear yours. Thanks for the podcast, Georgina." So, I have basically my preference, any toddlers, babies, small children in general. If I'm knitting for someone else and knowing how much time everyone goes, "Oh, you hand wash your kids, you should be able to hand wash their clothes too." Yeah, no. If it can't be thrown in the washer and at the most picked out before it goes in the dryer to be air dried, it ain't gonna happen. It's not. That's Mom trying to call. Mom, you know I record. I'll call you back when I'm done recording, at which point we'll already have had this conversation by the time you see this. But for me, honestly, superwash yarns. And specifically, I like Superwash Cascade 220. There's a huge variety of colors. So if I want to do color work on something for them, I can. It's a decently priced yarn. It's a very good workhorse yarn. And I know it works. I know it's superwash. I know the kids will wear it and not complain that it's itchy. On the downside, it does pill a little bit, but I just take my gleaner to stuff for like 5 minutes and sweaters are itty bitty and boom, it's done. The flax sweaters that I knit for them, Tara actually wore the heck out of hers. Gabe, not so much. He's not big into sweaters. He's got his dad's internal furnace, and it's like he'll wear a sweater. He'll say he's cold. Okay, go grab a sweater. We'll put it on. He'll grab something, put it on. 5 minutes later, it's like, okay, I'm warm now. It's like, no, child, you're wearing that sweater for the day. Grr. So superwash, like I said, Cascade 220 is good for me. I know they've received a lot of sweaters from other people when they were babies. I'm not sure what all the yarn content is. A few of them, like Jess Easton, Show Me Your Knits. Jess, I love that you knit from so much stuff for my kids, and it is all getting saved, and they are loving it to death. Whatever she knit, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen the kids. I think it was last summer was the last time they wore them. These little green sweaters. One has a bear in Tarja on the front, and one has a bunny. And they have loved those sweaters to death. I'm not sure what those are out of, but they have lasted. There is no pilling. It is gorgeous. I love those sweaters. I should go over and dig around on Jess's page, Ravelry page and find what it is, because that yarn is amazing. The thing I've been doing, like if I know they're going to be getting particularly messy, like doing a craft project or whatever, before peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for lunch, I peel them out of their knits so they're not dunking an elbow in spaghetti or something like that. So I'll be honest, I don't wash their knits that much. Like the, bug poop. The sweater I just finished for Tara around Christmas time. I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember what I call them. Oh my good gravy, is it in here? Please be in here. I doubt it's in here. No, it's not in here. Because of course it's not in here. Why would I have it where I need it? Disappointing stripes. Playful stripes. Oh, there we go. Wow. Thank you, brain, for pulling through. So the disappointing stripes sweater that I knit for Tara, I haven't laundered that yet. She has worn it several times, but it hasn't really gotten grubby. I need to pull it out again and just for over the summer, because she won't wear it over the summer. Need to pull it out before it goes into her sweater drawer until next fall, and just run it through with some soak, because I know that was not a superwash yarn. So, so yeah, I don't mind if stuff's not practical so much at this point. My kids aren't like going out and rolling around in the mud or anything in their sweaters. They're they're not really grubby. Little kids by nature are grubby, but like they don't like intentionally go out and start making mud pies in their good clothes or anything like that. And my kids are pretty informal, so they don't have school clothes versus play clothes. It's all one giant thing. They do have dress clothes, but yeah, they usually want out of those as soon as we get home, and I don't blame them. So Georgina, I hope that helps. Kind of in a roundabout way. Told you my opinion. We'll do one more from, because I'm letting this run a little long, from Wool is Ideal, who is Ritva. Oh, from Finland. Hey, I had 2 internationals back to back. Hi, Karen. Hope you and your family are well. This is from about 7 months ago. We're doing great. 3 questions. She said, how and where did you and your husband meet? Was it love at first sight? So, we worked at the same hospital when I was back in Omaha. And was it love at first sight? No, it was more kind of a, ooh, new RT, he's cute. And yeah, we were co-workers for 2 years before he asked me out on our first date. So love at first sight, no, but kind of a, oh yeah, I can appreciate the eye candy. No, question 2 is, if you aren't there already, what would be your dream location in the United States to live? Actually, I don't know, unless it would be somewhere further up in the mountains, even though we're in Colorado and we're kind of we're not quite over to the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. Like, we can see them from where we live, but I think to actually be up in the mountains would be wonderful. But I realize there are also practical things with that we can't do right now. Like, it's one of those, if we won the lottery, what would we do? We'd probably build a house somewhere up in the mountains away from people and have, yeah. But honestly, we like it here. Where we're at on the front range of Colorado, we're in high desert, so there's a lot less pollen. There's fewer bugs. Mosquitoes are practically non-existent here, which growing up in Iowa and Nebraska is unheard of. There are some other forms of wildlife, not crazy about the snakes, but we have a large garter snake that lives out under our pine tree in the backyard, or we have for the last couple of years. I don't know if it's still there. Hubby's run across it when he's been out mowing, but they eat the toads that live in the backyard. So as it doesn't fall down in the window well, you'll suddenly hear me scream if I see it like back behind my computer. But we found it's affected, in a positive way, affected the allergies that we had from growing up in the Midwest. So we like it here. Low humidity, beautiful views, gorgeous hiking areas. Not that we've taken advantage of it, but we're planning on it. So yeah, kind of right where we're at, or this general area. We're happy here. And 3rd question, and then we'll wrap this up. Have you done needlepoint? No. If not, would you be interested? At this point, I'm going to say no, because it's just one more thing, but I've said that about spinning. I've said that about cross stitch. I've said about anything. So I like doing cross stitch. I need to get back to it again. It's another thing that's kind of been languishing for me along with my spinning. But yeah, so I'm going to say no and no right now to that. Have I done needlepoint? No. Would I be interested in doing it? Not at the moment. So hopefully that answers your questions. I will see you all back here next week, and until then, happy knitting.